One of the most electrifying paintings of the Baroque does not ease you in. Artemisia Gentileschi's Judith Slaying Holofernes throws us straight into a life or death struggle. No polite symbolism, no safe distance, just muscle, fear, steel, and blood. Painted in the early 17th century, this work retells the biblical story of Judith, the widow who saves her people by infiltrating the tent of the Assyrian general Holofernes and beheading him. Many artists painted this subject, very few made it feel this immediate. Gentileschi turns the episode into a brutal act of resolve, where courage looks physical, difficult, and terribly real. And that intensity is exactly why this painting still feels modern centuries later. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep creating more educational videos like this one. Let's begin with Judith herself. Gentileschi presents her not as a delicate beauty recoiling from violence, but as the driving force of the action. Her sleeves are rolled into the work, her arms tense, her body angled forward with total commitment. She grips the sword with both determination and control, and there is nothing theatrical in her expression. This is not a fainting heroine. This is a woman who has chosen to act and is seeing that choice through. That matters because Artemisia Gentileschi gives Judith unusual psychological weight. She is intelligent, capable, and physically convincing. In earlier versions by other artists, Judith can seem elegant first, effective second. Here, effectiveness is the point. Gentileschi makes us understand that heroism is not abstract. It is pressure, balance, strength, and nerve under terrifying circumstances. Now look at Holofernes. His body twists violently across the bed, and his face explodes with shock. This is the exact instant when power changes hands. He is a military commander, a man used to commanding fear, yet here he is caught in pure panic, trying to resist, too late. Gentileschi captures that reversal with extraordinary drama. His open mouth, his straining neck, the desperate movement of his arms all make him feel alarmingly alive. That is part of what makes the scene so unsettling. This is not a symbolic villain quietly accepting his fate. He fights for survival. By making Holofernes so physically present, the painting becomes more than a moral lesson. It becomes a clash between bodies, wills, and destinies. The story's suspense is compressed into one unbearable second. Just as important is Judith's maidservant, often overlooked in retellings of the story. Gentileschi makes her essential. She leans in, grabs, restrains, and helps hold the general down. That changes the entire meaning of the picture. This is not a lone heroine acting in isolation. It is a coordinated effort between two women, both focused, both committed, both participating in the rescue of their community. The maid is not a passive witness. She is an accomplice in courage. Gentileschi seems deeply interested in shared action, in women working together under extreme pressure. The result is a scene of collective resolve rather than individual spectacle. That choice also intensifies the realism. In a struggle like this, one person might not be enough. Two people make the event plausible, strategic, and even more gripping. Then there is the blood, one of the painting's most shocking details. It arcs across the pale sheets with startling force, and Gentileschi paints it without flinching. This is Baroque naturalism at full voltage. The contrast between the white fabric and the dark red streams makes the violence impossible to soften or ignore. But this detail is not there just to provoke. It heightens the realism, yes, but it also serves the story. Judith's deed is decisive and costly. Salvation in this painting is not clean. Gentileschi insists on the physical truth of the moment, and in doing so, she refuses sentimental distance. The biblical narrative becomes immediate, material, and human. You can almost feel the speed of the action and the chaos of the bed beneath the bodies. It is painted with such conviction that the scene becomes unforgettable. The setting plays a huge role in that intensity. Notice how little empty space Gentileschi gives us. The bed, the heavy linens, and the dark background create a compressed, stage-like chamber where escape feels impossible. There is no open landscape, no decorative distraction, no visual relief. Everything pushes inward. The figures are trapped together in a tight rectangle of violence, and we are trapped with them. That compression is a brilliant storytelling device. It increases urgency and makes every gesture seem larger. The darkness around the scene also does what Baroque painters loved best. It isolates the action like a spotlight in a theater. We are not invited to wander. We are forced to confront. Gentileschi controls our attention with ruthless efficiency, using space itself to turn a biblical scene into a claustrophobic, immediate encounter. Stylistically, Judith Slaying Holofernes is a masterclass in Baroque painting. Artemisia Gentileschi uses dramatic light and shadow, powerful diagonals, and intense naturalism to make the story feel as if it is unfolding in front of us. You can sense the influence of Caravaggio in the stark contrast and emotional realism, but Gentileschi's voice is entirely her own. Her figures carry unusual physical credibility. Their effort feels studied from life, not invented from convention. She also brings remarkable psychological focus. Every hand, every glance, every strain of fabric supports the central act. And because this painting is so often discussed alongside Gentileschi's biography, it is important to stay accurate. The work is powerful, not because it can be reduced to one personal event, but because her talent transforms a familiar story into an image of agency, determination, and raw dramatic truth. What makes Judith Slaying Holofernes endure is that it refuses to become tame. Artemisia Gentileschi gives us a biblical heroine who is neither ornamental nor distant, but decisive, forceful, and unforgettable. She transforms a story of deliverance into a scene of terrifying intimacy, where bravery looks strenuous and victory comes at close range. The painting shocks, but it also clarifies. It asks what courage really demands, and it answers with action. That is why this work remains one of the great statements of Baroque art and one of the most compelling paintings by Artemisia Gentileschi. The more you look, the more you see, not just violence, but control, intelligence, and extraordinary artistic command.